Chapter 2937. On the battle stage, Mo Juyi and Absolute Sword were already fighting fiercely. Mo Juyi's battle strength was about the same as the Everlasting Sword Dao. In terms of offensive power, he was slightly weaker than the Everlasting Sword Dao. However, Mo Juyi's techniques were even stranger. However, he was still no match for Absolute Sword. Under Absolute Sword images, he relied on all kinds of strange techniques to last a moment longer than the Everlasting Sword Dao. However, he was still heavily injured and was knocked off the battle stage. Good. Ha ha ha. Absolute Sword is truly a peerless genius. His battle strength is truly high. Some youths from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace laughed, looking at the people from the Qin Tian Starfield. On the other hand, the Qin Tian Starfield side was silent. There were countless people around the plaza, but no one spoke. The atmosphere was extremely tense. The opponent, a 6th-level Heavenly God Realm Divine Sun, had consecutively defeated 2 people of the same level. Mo Juyi and the Everlasting Sword Dao had been defeated consecutively. This was a heavy blow to the Qin Tian Starfield's people. Now, the opponent still had 6 people, while the Qin Tian Starfield only had 7 people left. In their opinion, the only ones who had the strength to fight against the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace's heavenly geniuses were the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine and Bing Xian. As for the others, facing a heavenly genius like Absolute Sword, they probably wouldn't be able to take a single move. And the opponent still had 6 people, each one of them unfathomably strong. How were they going to fight this battle? Are we sure to lose? There's only 10 years left. Many people felt despair. Even more people could only remain silent, hoping for a miracle to happen. You too, who's up? Absolute Sword's battle-intent sword. His gaze locked onto the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine and Bing Xian. As for the others, he didn't even spare them a glance. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine and Bing Xian exchanged a glance. They saw that Lu Ming didn't have any intention of going up, so they could only go up first. I'll go. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine roared and charged onto the battle stage. You've used up a lot of divine energy. Originally, I didn't want to take advantage of you, but this battle is a battle of attrition. Don't say I won't have an unfair advantage. Crimson Flame Demon Pine said. His voice was deep and strong. As he spoke, he took a step forward and walked towards the Absolute Sword. With every step he took, his aura grew stronger. Boom. Raging flames rushed out of his body. These flames were incomparably viscous, like magma. 7th level of the Heavenly God Realm, the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine is at the 7th level of the Heavenly God Realm. Someone exclaimed. Then, many people in the Qin Tian Starfield were overjoyed. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's cultivation base had already reached the 7th level of the Heavenly God Realm. There was hope now. 7th level Celestial God. Haha, that's more interesting. Come. The Absolute Sword Silk was fearless. Around his body, sword shadows constantly appeared. Senluo Sword Domain, 10,000 swords slaying gods, kill. Absolute Sword shouted coldly and pressed both of his hands forward. Countless sword shadows attacked the Red Flame Demonic Pine. Roar the Scarlet Flame Demon let out a roar as his body swelled rapidly and transformed into an ancient god. The ancient god that the Red Flame Demonic Pine had transformed into was also a 100-meter-tall ancient god with orange armor. In the past, Bing Qing had told Lu Ming that there were a total of 4 geniuses in the Qin Heavenly Starfield that had successfully refined the ancient god physique. They were Sword Dao Wuji, Mo Juye, Scarlet Flame Devil Pine, and Bing Xian. As soon as the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine attacked, he transformed into an ancient god physique. At the same time, his ancient god physique was covered in scorching flames. He had merged his innate secret arts with his ancient god physique, making him even stronger. Falling Star. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine roared and punched with both fists. His fists seemed to have turned into lava, and the lava turned into 2 huge meteors that shot toward Absolute Sword. The temperature on the stage rapidly rose. Another ancient god physique. Lose. Absolute Sword roared. Thousands of sword shadows formed a river that shot toward the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine. Boom. Their attacks collided, causing a series of explosions. At the start, it was difficult to determine a victor. But after a while, the scarlet flame devil pine's fists surged. His lava fists smashed through the thousands of sword shadows and shot toward Absolute Sword. Absolute Sword had fought 2 battles in a row and had exhausted a lot of his divine power. On the other hand, the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine's cultivation base was at the 7th level of the Heavenly God realm. He wasn't someone that Sword Dao Wuji and Mo Juye could compare to. "You're the one losing," the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine roared. His mountain-like fists continued to smash down. The sky shook, and the temperature rose to a terrifying level. Even the air was about to burn. Huge meteors were smashing toward Absolute Sword. "Don't be happy too early. Absolute Heaven Strike." Absolute Sword roared. Terrifying sword chi shot out of his eyes. He waved his hands, and the sword shadows in the sky converged into one. Absolute Sword's body seemed to have merged with the thousands of sword shadows, turning into a resplendent sword light. Swish! This sword light instantly destroyed several meteors and shot toward the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine. This was Absolute Sword's strongest attack. It was terrifyingly powerful, causing the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine's pupils to shrink. Myriad divine fists, star explosion, die, die, die. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine roared. All the flames on his body gathered on his fists. In an instant, he sent out thousands of punches. Those thousands of punches were sent out in an instant. From an outsider's point of view, it looked like thousands of fist shadows had appeared in front of the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine. Those fist shadows were completely condensed from flames and shot toward Absolute Sword. Boom! A heaven-shaking explosion came from the battle stage. The entire battle stage was constantly shaking. Boundless energy spread in all directions, but it was blocked by the battle stage's formations. Many people with weaker cultivations could only see the sky full of flames and sword light blocking the figures of the Red Flame Demonic Pine and the Absolute Sword. Who's going to win? Many people stared at the battle stage, not even daring to blink. They were afraid they would miss a wonderful scene. Bang! On the battle stage, a huge figure was continuously retreating. Not good, it's the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine. His retreating. The Qin Tian Starfield's people's expressions changed. Their hearts sank. However, the next moment, to their delight, Absolute Sword was sent flying out of the fighting ring like a cannonball. He landed below the fighting ring and staggered backward for a few hundred meters before regaining his balance. Then, he spat out a mouthful of blood. He won. Many people were ecstatic. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine was still standing on the battle stage, but Absolute Sword had already fallen off. Naturally, the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine had won. "The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine is also injured," said someone else. Everyone's joy vanished. Indeed, the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine was also injured. There was a deep sword wound on his chest. It was as if his body had been cut in half. Blood was flowing out unceasingly. Although the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine had defeated Absolute Sword, he had also been injured. The Qin Tian Starfield had only won a small victory. The situation was still very unfavorable for them. Chapter 2938. I've lost. Peerless Sword said coldly. With a flicker, he returned to the crowd of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace and sat down with his legs crossed to heal his wounds. However, no one dared to underestimate Peerless Sword. Peerless Sword had defeated Sword Dao Wuji and Mo Juyi at the beginning, exhausting a great amount of his divine force. However, he was still able to fight the 7th layer Heaven God Realm Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine until both of them were injured. His strength was truly terrifying. If Peerless Sword was at his peak, he might not necessarily lose to the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. As such, the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace still had 5 people left. The Qin Tian Starfield still had 7 people. Although they still had the advantage in terms of numbers, the people of the Qin Tian Starfield were not confident at all. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine did not speak. He was taking the opportunity to heal his wounds, hoping to recover more of his strength. 7th layer Heaven God Realm with the ancient God Flesh. Your strength is not bad among the 7th layer Heaven Gods. The golden-robed young man from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace spoke once again. He slowly walked forward and landed on the fighting ring. Jin Xing is going to make his move. Jin Xing is finally going to make his move. Well, with him around, the battle will come to an end, saving me the trouble. Let's just enjoy the show. The remaining young men of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace burst out laughing with a relaxed look, as if they were sure to win the battle. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine looked at the golden-robed young man with a stern look. The golden-robed young man had been representing the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace since the beginning. It was obvious that his talent was quite outstanding. You should take the time to recover, I'll give you a chance. Jin Xing said calmly. He stood still and allowed the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine to recover with a confident look. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine did not show any mercy. He took out a few pills to recover his divine force and consumed them. He then executed a technique to recover his strength. The wound on his chest began to wriggle at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was recovering rapidly. Half an hour later, the wound on the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's chest had completely disappeared. He had also recovered to his peak. Bring it on, even though you're giving me time to recover, I won't go easy on you. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine stared at Jin Xing with a strong battle intent. However, Jin Xing shook his head and said, "You alone are no match for me. You should also attack together." Jin Xing's last sentence was directed at the Ice Immortal. What? His challenging the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine and the Ice Immortal at the same time? Could it be that his cultivation has already reached the 8th layer Heaven God realm? Someone was shocked. No. I've observed him. His cultivation is at the 6th layer Heaven God realm. In the Qin Heavenly Star region, a white-haired God King said. What? He's only at the 6th level of the Celestial God realm, yet he's so confident to challenge the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine at the same time? Where did he get his confidence from? That's right, the Absolute Sword is strong enough, but at his peak, he is at most comparable to the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. In the Qin Tian Starfield, many people roared in disbelief. A 6th-level heavenly god actually challenged the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine and the Ice Immortal at the same time. The Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine were equally famous. The two of them had fought many times in the past and it was hard to determine the victor. The Scarlet Flame Devil Pine had broken through to the 7th level of the Heavenly God realm, so the Ice Immortal should be at the same level. Moreover, they were all divine sons, peerless geniuses. Where did Jin Xing get his confidence from? You really want to challenge the two of us? This doesn't conform to the rules. If we win, the Ice Immortal Dao. If you can win, then it's your victory. Before the Ice Immortal could speak, Jin Xing said indifferently. All right. The Ice Immortal directly agreed. Since the other party was so confident, how could he not agree? Taking a step forward, the Ice Immortal also appeared on the battle stage, standing side by side with the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. The Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine, one cold and one hot, formed a terrifying wave that surged towards Jin Xing. Bang. Jin Xing took a step forward and unleashed all of his aura. 6th layer Heaven God realm, his cultivation was indeed at the 6th layer Heaven God realm. Golden divine power covered his entire body, instantly defeating the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's aura. Ice Immortal, you go left, I'll go right. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine transmitted to the Ice Immortal, then charged towards Jin Xing's right. At the same time, the Ice Immortal charged towards Jin Xing's left. While charging, the Ice Immortal's body rapidly enlarged, turning into an ancient god body. Once the Ice Immortal made his move, everyone knew his cultivation was at the 7th layer Heaven God realm. Falling Star. Rapid Ice Sword. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine and the Ice Immortal used their trump cards at the same time, attacking Jin Xing. Since Jin Xing was so confident, he definitely had terrifying strength. They didn't think Jin Xing was just showing off. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine and the Ice Immortal were mortal enemies. They had fought each other countless times, so they understood each other the best. Their cooperation was flawless. The two attacks wanted to drown Jin Xing. Jin Xing, who was the size of a normal person, was like an ant in front of the 200-meter-tall ancient god bodies. However, Jin Xing's expression was calm in the face of their pincer attack. "Void-breaking hand," muttered Jin Xing. His two palms turned golden, as if they were made of gold. Then he sent a palm at the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. Boom! Boom! Jin Xing's golden palm collided with the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's attacks. Then the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's meteor directly exploded. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's body shook violently, and he was forced back. At the same time, the Ice Immortal's attack also exploded, and he was forced back. This scene was extremely shocking and impactful. It was like two elephants had been forced back by an ant. How is this possible? Many people found it hard to believe. The Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine were 7th-level heavenly gods, divine sons. Moreover, they had used a secret technique like the ancient god bodies, but they were still no match for Jin Xing. What terrifying power! Lu Ming's gaze fell on Jin Xing's two golden palms. Just now, Lu Ming had sensed a terrifying destructive power erupting from Jin Xing's palms. It had defeated the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's attacks. "Void-breaking hand?" muttered Lu Ming. This was a terrifying secret technique. "Get down!" shouted Jin Xing after forcing the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine back. He took a step forward and charged at the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine, sending a palm at the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. A golden palm formed. It was incomparably huge, even bigger than the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's ancient god body. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine roared, and his two fists continuously punched out. His lava-like fists continuously bombarded the golden palm. However, the golden palm's power was shocking. As it crushed down, the lava-like fists kept exploding. Chapter 2939. On the other side, Bing Xian also attacked Jin Xing when he was attacking the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine. However, Jin Xing waved his hand and a golden sword flew out, blocking Bing Xian's attack. No matter how Bing Xian attacked, the golden sword was able to stop him. Jin Xing was attacking the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine with all his strength. The golden palm pressed down, forcing the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine to retreat. Jin Xing's strength was truly shocking. They were both at the 6th level of the heavenly god realm, but he was stronger than Zhu Jian. No wonder he dared to challenge the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine and Bing Xian at the same time. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine roared and used all his strength, but unfortunately, he was still no match for Jin Xing Shua. Jin Xing quickly approached the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine, and his golden palm slashed down again. The terrifying power caused the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's pupils to shrink. He roared and punched out twice with his fists wrapped in magma. However, the moment his fist collided with Jin Xing's palm, his fist exploded. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine screamed and retreated. "Get lost!" Jin Xing was like a golden ray of light, and his palm slammed into the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's chest. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine screamed again. His ancient god body's defensive power couldn't stop Jin Xing's attack. A large hole appeared in his chest, and he flew out of the stage. When he flew out of the stage, the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's body returned to its normal size, and he heavily fell off the stage, coughing up blood. Everyone saw that a large hole had appeared in the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine's chest. His flesh had already disappeared. It was a tragic sight. The Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine quickly took out a healing divine pill and ate it. As a result, only Bing Xian was left on the battle stage. Shua. After defeating the Scarlet Flame Demonic Pine, Jin Xing turned around and attacked Bing Xian. Bing Xian's expression changed, and he retreated, not daring to face Jin Xing head-on. Ice Seal. Bing Xian sent out several palms, and the stage turned into a world of ice. He planned to use the moving method to fight Jin Xing, and then find an opportunity to see if he could win. "You want to use this method to fight me? How foolish." "Void-shattering palm," shouted Jin Xing. He was surrounded by dazzling golden light. In the sky, a gigantic golden palm was formed, covering the entire battle stage and pressing down. As such, no matter what, The Ice Immortal would be enveloped by the palm imprint. No matter what, she would have to clash head-on with her opponent. The Ice Immortal had no choice but to use her full strength to block the palm attack. Facing Jin Xing alone, he was even less of a match for him. In the end, his result was the same as the Scarlet Flame demonic pine tree. He was sent flying out of the battle platform, heavily injured. Jin Xing defeated the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine by himself. In the Qin Tian Starfield, many people were pale. B defeated the Qin Tian Starfield was defeated. The Ice Immortal, the Red Flame Devil Pine, the Sword Dao Wuji, Mo Juye, Kang Yang, and Pejuan were defeated one after another. There was no longer any suspense in this battle. It seemed that the time that he wanted to fight for was no longer possible. Sigh, only 10 years. If we can't find the treasures of the 9 Absolute Heavenly King Mansion in 10 years, then when the 9 Absolute Heavenly King Mansion's army arrives, all the powers of the Qin Tian Starfield will be exterminated. Who is it that stole the treasures of the 9 Absolute Heavenly King Mansion? Many people were roaring in their hearts. In their opinion, this battle had already ended with the defeat of the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine Tree. Although the Qin Tian Starfield has a few heavenly geniuses, they are still unable to withstand a single blow. Therefore, you only have 10 years. If you can't hand over the treasures after 10 years, then wait to be exterminated. Jin Xing said coldly. The battle hasn't ended yet. It's still too early for you to come to a conclusion. At this moment, a voice sounded. The person who spoke was naturally Lu Ming. Many people looked at Lu Ming. Could it be that he still wants to go up and compete? Although we still have 5 people left, the Ice Immortal and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine Tree have both been defeated. What's the use of the remaining 5 people going up? The outcome is already decided. Many people shook their heads and sighed. Young man, forget it. Let's admit defeat in this battle. There's no need to humiliate ourselves. An old man advised Lu Ming. He had good intentions. In this competition, there was no rule that stated that one could not kill. If the difference in strength was too great, it would be a shame if one was killed by a palm strike. Junior is unwilling to accept the fact that we haven't fought. Lu Ming smiled and walked towards the battle platform. He landed on the platform and faced Jin Xing. You want to fight me? Jin Xing was also taken aback. His eyes flickered with golden light as he clearly saw Lu Ming's cultivation base. 3rd level Celestial God, a 3rd level Heavenly God actually wanted to fight with him? What a joke. Even 7th level Celestial God prodigies like Bing Xian and Scarlet Flame Devil Pine were no match for him. What could a 3rd level Celestial God do? Even if the godly power he controlled was divine grade godly power, he could crush it with a single finger. 10 years is too short. We won't be able to find the treasure you want. So, we can only fight for 1,000 years. Lu Ming smiled. However, if we were to risk it, we might end up paying with our lives. Jin Xing said. Of course I know, but I'm afraid you're still a little lacking if you want to take my life. Lu Ming smiled faintly, looking confident. This made many people in Qin Tian Starfield curl their lips. This Lu Ming was too confident. With Jin Xing's terrifying strength, it was still a little lacking to take his life. Jin Xing would probably be smashed to pieces in a single move. This brat waited until now to fight with Jin Xing. He's really courting death. Qin Wuyo mocked from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace's side. He originally thought that Lu Ming would hide and not dare to fight. He did not expect to wait until now to come out and fight. In his opinion, it was not a coward, but a fool. Lu Ming, Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong and the others clenched their fists tightly. Although they knew that Lu Ming was very strong, the strength that Jin Xing had just displayed was too terrifying. Could Lu Ming really fight with Jin Xing? They were not confident in their hearts. Young Master will definitely win. Only Autumn Moon was completely confident in Lu Ming. She had watched Lu Ming's rise. Along the way, Lu Ming had created too many miracles. She always believed that Lu Ming would not lose. Is that so? You're very confident. I hope you have the capital to be confident. Jin Xing sneered. Golden light spread out from his body as he prepared to attack. Wait! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. Jin Xing, who was about to step forward, stopped in his tracks. He almost could not catch his breath. What is this brat doing? Many people looked at each other. What are you doing? Jin Xing clenched his teeth and asked. I still don't want to fight with you right now. What's your name again? That's right, Qin Wuyo, that Qin Wuyo. Didn't you always want to fight with me? Come, I'll give you a chance to fight. Lu Ming looked at Qin Wuyo. Chapter 2940. What? He wants to challenge Qin Wuyo? Many people were stunned. They couldn't figure out Lu Ming's plan at all. Even Qin Wuyo himself had a dumbfounded expression. He had already been defeated before. He had never imagined that Lu Ming would challenge him now. Are you sure you want to challenge Qin Wuyo first? Qin Wuyo has already been defeated. If you really want to challenge him, don't say that we broke the rules. Jin Xing said. Don't worry, it won't take much effort to deal with him. Lu Ming said loudly. Many people looked at him with disdain. He really didn't know how to brag. Qin Wuyo was also a divine son. His strength was about the same as Kang Yang and Po Jun's. Lu Ming actually said it wouldn't take much effort to deal with him. Who did he think he was? Jin Xing. What is this Lu Ming doing? Mo Juye, Jian Dao Wuji, and the others were also confused. They didn't know what Lu Ming wanted to do. Mo Juye had fought with Lu Ming 200 years ago. He knew Lu Ming's strength. Lu Ming was at most a bit stronger than him. It was possible for him to defeat Qin Wuyo, but they didn't believe it would take much effort. I accept this battle. Qin Wuyo shouted. His figure flashed, and he appeared on the stage. He had been thinking of killing Lu Ming. Now that Lu Ming was courting death, how could he miss this opportunity? All right, then I'll leave him to you. Jin Xing nodded and retreated to the side. From his point of view, Lu Ming was only at the 3rd level of the heavenly god realm. Qin Wuyo was enough. You should have more or less recovered. I'll let you attack first. In the future, you won't have a chance to attack. Lu Ming shouted. But in the eyes of others, he was just showing off. Since you're in a hurry to die, I'll fulfill your wish. 7 injuries divine fist, kill. Qin Wuyo made his move. His first move was the 7 injuries divine fist. Actually, he didn't dare to underestimate Lu Ming. After all, Qin Wushang and the others had been ruthlessly beaten up by Lu Ming at the Kongxian school. One had to know that the strength of Qin Wushang and the others wasn't considered low. Therefore, Qin Wuyo immediately used his ultimate move to kill Lu Ming. Boom Lu Ming also made his move, but Lu Ming did not activate the battle character secret art to multiply his combat strength, nor did he transform into his ancient god body. 10 divine fires burned fiercely in his body, and a tremendous amount of god power surged. Ice chains. Lu Ming's heart stirred, and 9 ice chains rushed out from his body. Shoo shoo 9 ice chains, like 9 long snakes, rushed towards Qin Wuyo. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the ice chains he used were shockingly powerful. In particular, the 9th chain had refined a ball of special icy cold liquid. As Lu Ming's cultivation level increased, the power of the ball of liquid became more and more stimulated. Wherever the 9 ice chains passed, the temperature in the air would rapidly drop, and ice crystals would appear. Break for me. Qin Wuyo loudly shouted, wanting to break the ice chains. But when his fist energy collided with the ice chains, his expression wildly changed. He felt an extremely cold chill spread towards him, and he felt as if all the blood in his body was about to be frozen. He roared, and used his own strength to injure himself to increase the power of the 7 injuries divine fist. Boom. After injuring himself, the power of the 7 injuries divine fist had indeed increased by a level. His fist energy flourished, and among the 9 ice chains, 8 of them violently trembled and then collapsed. But the 9th ice chain was incomparably tough. It directly broke through his fist energy and wrapped around Qin Wuyo. At the same time, the ice chain's cold intent crazily surged out, sealing Qin Wuyo in ice. Qin Wuyo's body stiffened in midair. Bang Lu Ming controlled the ice shackles, swinging it up and smashing it heavily on the fighting ring. The fighting ring shook violently. Qin Wuyo screamed miserably after being smashed. Dozens of bones were broken all over his body. He spat out mouthfuls of blood like a dead fish. The entire crowd was deathly silent. They were all dumbfounded. Many people thought they were dreaming, or that their eyes were playing tricks on them. A person at the level of a divine son, a genius who had been severely injured in the battle with Blue Flame's destroyer army previously, was defeated by Lu Ming in one move. This was simply like a dream. Bang! Just as everyone was in a daze, Lu Ming lifted Qin Wuyo up again and smashed him heavily on the fighting ring. Qin Wuyo let out a shrill scream. This time, he was even more seriously injured. He was like a pile of mud, rolling his eyes and vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. Everyone was finally roused from their stupor, and then they burst into an uproar. He won. Lu Ming actually won. Amazing. This Qin Wushang's strength isn't any weaker than Kang Yang and Jun Po, but he was defeated in one move. This is too exaggerated. I never thought that the Kongxian school would have such a powerful genius. I've never heard of him before. The Qin Tian Starfield's people were both astonished and excited. They had already given up all hope, but now they couldn't help feeling a tiny bit of hope. Of course, it was only a tiny bit. After all, Jinxing was too strong. Amongst them, the most shocked were Mo Juye, Jian Dao Wuji, Kang Yang, and Jun Po. 200 years ago, Mo Juye had fought with Lu Ming. At that time, Lu Ming's strength was only slightly stronger than Mo Juye's. They were on the same level. But now, Qin Wuyo, who had fought with Kang Yang and Jun Po, had been defeated by Lu Ming in one move. Didn't this mean that Lu Ming's strength was far above theirs? Third level heavenly god, his cultivation base has broken through to the third level. How could he break through 2 levels in just 200 years? Mo Juye roared inwardly. 200 years ago, he clearly knew that Lu Ming's cultivation base was only at the first level of the heavenly god realm. In the heavenly god realm, breaking through one level required a very long time. Even if they were peerless geniuses, it wouldn't be a short amount of time. 200 years was truly too short. Unless he had a huge fortuitous encounter. He must have had a fortuitous encounter in these years. Damn it! Mo Juye and Jian Dao Wuji roared inwardly. They were so jealous that they wanted to die. I've lost, let me down. At this moment, Qin Wuyo roared. Letting you down just because you've lost? You're too naive. Lu Ming said indifferently. He looked at Bing Xian and said, this guy killed one of your people. Today, I'll take his life in exchange for yours. Hearing this, Qin Wuyo was scared out of his wits. He frantically struggled, but he was sealed by the ice chains. There was no way he could struggle. He could only yell crazily, no, you can't kill me, you can't, save me, stop. On the other side, Jinxing also yelled and charged at Lu Ming, trying to save Qin Wuyo. However, Lu Ming would not give him the chance. A powerful force rushed through the ice chains and into Qin Wuyo's body. Qin Wuyo let out an unwilling cry as his body was torn apart, dying on the spot. Chapter 2941. Everyone was stunned. They hadn't thought that Lu Ming would really dare to kill Qin Wuyo. No matter how arrogant Qin Wuyo was, he was still a heavenly genius of the 9-extinction Heavenly King Palace. His decisiveness was truly shocking. Lu Ming, you dare kill a heavenly genius of my Qin family? You're courting death, roared a heavenly genius of the Qin family, glaring at Lu Ming. But Lu Ming directly ignored him and looked at Bing Xian. A life for a life. I'll help you take back the life of that brother from the Ice Soul race. Many thanks. Bing Xian cupped her fists. To tell the truth, she also wanted to kill Qin Wuyo, but she didn't have the chance. Boom. At this moment, the stage shook. Jinxing landed on the stage, his body erupting with resplendent golden light. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were cold as he stared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, right? Very good, your strength has exceeded my expectations. Now, I'll be your opponent. Wait, shouted Lu Ming. Jinxing was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. He gloomily stared at Lu Ming. What do you want now? Nothing. I just feel like you're not my opponent. Call a few more people to come at me together, said Lu Ming. What? Everyone's eyes widened. They thought they had misheard. Lu Ming actually said Jin Xing wasn't his opponent and wanted to call a few more people to come at him together. Arrogant, arrogant. Jin Xing had called Bing Xian and the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine together. That was already arrogant enough. But now, Lu Ming was even more arrogant. The power Jin Xing had just displayed was extremely terrifying. But now, Lu Ming actually said Jin Xing wasn't strong enough. Although Lu Ming had easily defeated Qin Wuyo, Jin Xing wasn't someone Qin Wuyo could compare to. Although their cultivation bases were the same, Jin Xing could probably defeat Qin Wuyo in one move. Arrogant. Why would I need others to deal with you? Let me see what kind of ability you have, shouted Jin Xing. His golden light became even more dazzling. Thump thump. Jin Xing took a few steps forward and arrived in front of Lu Ming. A golden palm chopped down at Lu Ming. Before the palm arrived, the terrifying force had already surged towards Lu Ming, erupting with a terrifying cutting power. If it was an ordinary third-level heavenly god, they would probably be torn apart by this terrifying force. However, Lu Ming was not an ordinary third-level celestial deity. His battle strength was many times stronger than an ordinary third-layer heaven god. At that instant, the 10 god flames in his body surged fiercely. 10 streams of powerful god force gathered together and sprang forward. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the battle character secret art to quadruple his combat strength. His combat strength skyrocketed. Lu Ming activated the divine dragon aspect art and punched out. Surging divine power surged towards Lu Ming's palm. Roar. A dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens as a 9-clawed dragon flew out from Lu Ming's fist. Its 9 claws grabbed at Jin Xing and collided with his golden palm. Bang bang bang. 9 consecutive explosions took place. Strong gusts of wind swept in all directions from the point of collision. Hand of the Void, shatter everything, die. Jin Xing snapped coldly. His palm glowed even brighter. The 9-clawed dragon aspect shuddered violently before it exploded. Jin Xing's hair drifted wildly as he roared, "So this is what makes you so arrogant? How disappointing. You'll lose." Saying this, Jin Xing threw another palm at Lu Ming. "Let's do this then," Lu Ming said calmly as he threw a few punches forward. Roar roar. A series of dragon roars took place. Every time Lu Ming threw a punch, a 9-clawed dragon would fly out. 6 9-clawed dragons flew toward Jin Xing and attacked him fiercely. Jin Xing's expression changed slightly. He had only used one of his palms before, but now, he was using the second one. 2 golden palms flew forward and struck at the 9-clawed dragon aspect. Jin Xing's Hand of the Void seemed ordinary. There was no rare phenomenon when he attacked, but its power was indeed shocking. It was said to be able to sever the void. Each time it collided with the 9-clawed dragon aspect, the 9-clawed dragon aspect would tremble violently. The two exchanged a few hundred blows in an intense battle. The surrounding people were already stunned. They never thought that Lu Ming would be able to fight against Jin Xing. Many people had thought that Lu Ming was just bragging, but now it seemed that Lu Ming was really capable, even if he was bragging a little by challenging so many people at the same time. This guy is so strong. At this moment, the geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace and the seniors were astounded. A third-layer heaven god is able to resist Jin Xing's Hand of the Void. Even the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace has never seen such a genius before. An old man exclaimed. It was too terrifying for a third-layer heaven god to fight against Jin Xing. Jin Xing was also a peerless genius. Although he was only a 6th-layer heaven god, he could easily slay an ordinary 9th-layer heaven god. However, it was unheard of for a third-layer heavenly god to possess such powerful combat strength. I'm afraid such a genius would only appear in the core of the sacred dynasty. Another old man in the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace exclaimed. It was beyond their expectation that such a genius would appear in the tiny Qin Tian starfield. Icy chains. At this moment, Lu Ming used the ice chains. 9 chains wrapped around Jin Xing, exuding a shocking chill. Void-shattering sword. Jin Xing said coldly. His forehead emitted a golden glow as a golden battle sword flew out. Whoosh! The golden battle sword slashed down and cut 2 ice chains in half. Then, with another slash, a few more ice chains were cut in half. In the end, only the 9th icy chain stood a chance against Jin Xing. Very good, Lu Ming. I didn't expect that you would be able to force me to this extent. It's your honor to be able to see my ultimate move next. Ancient shattering. Jin Xing roared. The golden battle sword flew toward Jin Xing and was grabbed by him. However, Jin Xing was not planning to attack with the battle sword. The battle sword melted in Jin Xing's hand like a puddle of golden liquid, merging with Jin Xing's palm. Whoosh! Jin Xing clasped his hands and slashed down. Rip! A terrifying golden ray burst out and slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes glittered. With a thought, 6 9-clawed dragon images lunged at Jin Xing. However, the golden ray was truly terrifying. When the first 9-clawed dragon image collided with the golden ray, its claw crumbled, followed by its body, which was split in half. Then, the second and the third. Chapter 2942. Wherever the golden light from Jin Xing slash passed, the 9-clawed divine dragon Dharma forms crumbled one after another. Ranwei. N. W. 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 R. A. N. W. Aina. Com. In an instant, the 6 divine dragon avatars all exploded. Even the 9th ice chain couldn't stop the golden light and was cut apart. The terrifying golden light directly slashed at Lu Ming. Its power was truly shocking. I originally didn't want to kill you, but you forced me to use this move. Even I can't control myself. Rest in peace. Jin Xing's gaze was cold as a thought flashed through his mind. Whoosh! The golden light shot straight at Lu Ming's face. Lu Ming retreated, but the golden light's speed was extremely fast. It chased closely behind Lu Ming. What's going to happen? The spectators' hearts were also in their mouths. Jin Xing's move was too terrifying. It had broken Lu Ming's attack in one move and forced Lu Ming to retreat. Would Lu Ming be defeated by this move, or even die under this move? Just as Lu Ming was about to be struck by the golden light, a roar rang out. Then, Lu Ming's body rapidly swelled, and a 100-meter-tall giant appeared on the stage. Moon severing. Lu Ming used his ancient god body, but Lu Ming didn't use his full strength. He only used his ancient god body to transform into a 100-meter-tall ancient god. The spear in his hand slashed out, and a crescent-shaped spear light slashed forward, colliding with the golden light. Boom! The 2 rays of light collided, causing a heaven-shaking explosion. The dazzling light was so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. The 2 rays of light constantly trembled, but then the golden light trembled even more violently, and with a bang, it exploded. Whoosh! A figure retreated. It was Jin Xing. Jin Xing retreated several thousand meters, spitting out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief. His strongest move had actually been broken. Instead, he had suffered heavy injuries. Ancient god body. He has also cultivated the ancient god body. The geniuses of the 9 extinction Heavenly King Palace exclaimed. The people of the Qin Tian Starfield were ecstatic. Jin Xing, what other moves do you have? Use them, or it won't be enough. Lu Ming shouted. He waved his spear, and another crescent-shaped spear light swept towards Jin Xing void-breaking hand. Jin Xing hollered and continuously struck out his palms, trying to block Lu Ming's attack. However, after Lu Ming transformed into the ancient god body, coupled with the enhancement of 4 times his combat ability was already above Jin Xing's. He could not resist at all. Boom! Boom! Jin Xing's body shook violently. Every time they collided, he had to retreat 100 meters. Soon, he arrived at the edge of the fighting ring. Let's end this. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He held the spear with both hands and slashed it down. The huge spear gleam was like a mountain, pressing toward Jin Xing. Jin Xing shouted, trying his best to block the attack. Although he was unwilling, he could not change the fact. When the spear light pressed down, He spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying out of the fighting ring. Jin Xing was defeated. The crowd was silent at first, but then they burst into cheers. He won, he won. Lu Ming defeated Jin Xing. That's amazing. There's hope, there's hope. Many people shouted, their eyes full of anticipation and excitement. Previously, many people had ignored Lu Ming and did not pay attention to Lu Ming. Most of them had placed their hopes on Bing Xian, Red Flame Demon Pine, Sword Dao Wuji, Mo Juyi, Kang Yang, and Po Jun. When they saw Bing Xian and Red Flame Demon Pine being defeated, they were in despair. They thought there was no suspense in this competition. They had not expected Lu Ming to suddenly appear and defeat Jin Xing. Jin Xing had defeated Bing Xian and Red Flame Demon Pine at the same time. In this way, they saw hope again. Perhaps, Lu Ming could create a miracle and win all the way. Perhaps, Jin Xing was the strongest person in the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. This guy, Mo Juyi, Sword Dao Wuji, and the others looked solemn. They knew that Lu Ming had not used his full strength yet. At least, Lu Ming's ancient god body was not only an orange-armored ancient god. He had not used his full strength yet, but he already had such combat strength. They had been left far behind. I told you to join in the fight, but you didn't listen. Now, who wants to fight? Lu Ming looked at the remaining 4 people from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. There were 4 youths left in the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. At this moment, 3 of them looked gloomy. The 3 of them were in the 7th level Heavenly God realm. However, although their cultivation was higher than Jin Xing's, their combat strength was not higher than Jin Xing's. Jin Xing was a famous genius in the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. He could even fight against geniuses. They did not have such ability. If Jin Xing could not win, they could not win as well. Their gazes landed on the last ordinary-looking young man. Among the 4 of them, only this person looked calm. Let me fight this battle. The ordinary-looking youth hugged a battle saber and stepped forward. A terrifying aura spread from his body. His divine force was extremely strong. 8th level Heavenly God realm. Someone exclaimed. What? 8th level Heavenly God realm. Many people in the Qin Tian starfield exclaimed. This ordinary-looking youth with a battle saber had reached the 8th level Heavenly God realm. It was absolutely shocking to have such a cultivation among the younger generation. One should know that Bing Xian and Red Flame Demonic Pine had just broken through to the 7th level Heavenly God realm. This is troublesome. Many people secretly worried for Lu Ming. Although Jin Xing was strong, he was only in the 6th level Heavenly God realm. No matter how strong he would not be a match for a 8th level Heavenly God realm genius. Could Lu Ming defeat him? Buzz. The ordinary-looking youth took 1 step at a time in the sky. The battle saber in his arms vibrated slightly. Following it, a saber glow pierced through the rift and soared into the sky. He was a saber artist, someone who was as famous as sword cultivators. He was famous for his offensive strength. 8th level Heavenly God realm? Lu Ming's lips curled into a faint smile. Ever since this person revealed his cultivation level, Lu Ming finally had some confidence in his heart. Judging from the expressions of the remaining 4 people of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace, Lu Ming could tell that this saber artist was the strongest among them. As long as he was not as crazy as Jin Xing, Lu Ming was confident that he could defeat an 8th level Heavenly God realm cultivator. I'm Wei Dao, I'll be your opponent, the ordinary-looking youth said. Wait, it's a waste of time to fight one by one. You should all come at once so that I can finish you all at once, Lu Ming said loudly, looking at the remaining 3 people of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. I alone am enough, Wei Dao said coldly. No, you can't do it alone. Lu Ming shook his head. Many people were speechless. What was Lu Ming doing? Could it be that he was full of confidence after defeating Jin Xing? Or was Lu Ming still holding back his strength? Many people's imaginations ran wild. P.S. Dear readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, 0 ads, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2943. Wei Dao's expression darkened. His eyes flickered. Burn. Wen Xiao. Say. W. 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 R. A. N. W. E. N. A. Com. He was not sure how strong Lu Ming was. Could it be that Lu Ming was still hiding his strength? However, Lu Ming was only a third-layer heaven god. The strength that he had displayed before was already shocking enough. Could it be that he was still capable of unleashing a stronger strength? Wei Dao, all of you, attack together. We can't afford to lose the battle. A voice entered Wei Dao's ears. It was a god emperor from the Nine Extinction Heavenly Emperor Palace who was transmitting his voice to him. Wei Dao nodded silently while staring at Lu Ming. Since you're so confident, I'll grant your wish. Let's attack together, Wei Dao said coldly. Following the words, the remaining 3 young men stepped forward and stood beside Wei Dao. Their terrifying strength was unleashed. 7th-layer heaven gods, all of them were 7th-layer heaven gods. The people of the Qin Tian starfield inhaled deeply with stern looks. The Nine Extinction Heavenly Emperor Palace was too strong. They still had so many experts behind them. Even though the Qin Tian starfield had yet to make their move, they were not too strong. This time, even without Jin Xing, the Qin Tian starfield had no chance of winning the battle. There were still 3 7th-layer heaven gods and an 8th-layer heaven god realm genius behind them. How could they possibly win the battle? Right now, they could only pin all their hopes on Lu Ming. 3 7th-layer heaven gods and an 8th-layer heaven god. Very well, make your move. Lu Ming said confidently. I'll grant your wish. As soon as Lu Ming finished his act, Wei Dao made his move decisively. A snow-white saber glow slashed at Lu Ming. Without a doubt, the remaining 4 were all God's sons with divine-grade god force. Meanwhile, the other 3 made their moves too, attacking Lu Ming. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Among the 4 of them, any one of them was probably stronger than the Ice Immortal or the Scarlet Flame Devil Pine. Among the young men at the 7th level of the Heavenly God Realm, 2 of them were probably as strong as Jin Xing coupled with the even more terrifying Wei Dao. It would be hard for anyone below the Divine King realm to fight against him. Many people held their breaths, wanting to know how Lu Ming would respond. Roar. Lu Ming let out another ancient god roar. His body expanded once again. This time, Lu Ming did not hold back. He used his full strength. A 200-meter-tall green-armored ancient god appeared on the fighting ring. Break space. Lu Ming continuously used the sky-piercing move. Streaks of spear lights shot towards Wei Dao's group of 4 like meteors. Boom. 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 A series of explosions sounded out. Except for Wei Dao, the other 3 were forced to retreat, their faces unsightly. Green-armored ancient god. It's the green-armored ancient god. In the Nine Extinction Heavenly King's residence, a white-haired god king cried out in shock. The others in the Nine Extinction Heavenly King's residence also gasped in shock. It was beyond their expectations that someone in the Qin Tian starfield could cultivate into a green-armored ancient god. The Taishu dynasty was vast and had occupied many starfields. What kind of geniuses did it not have? There were also many who had cultivated the ancient god body. However, most of them were low-level ancient gods. Those who could become green-armored ancient gods were few and far between, even in the history of ancient gods. He hasn't used his full strength yet. Jin Xing's face was extremely ugly. It's the green-armored ancient god. The eyes of Wei Dao and the other 3 young men were filled with astonishment. Let's attack together. I'll be the main attacker, you guys support me. Wei Dao shouted and launched another attack. The offensive power of a bladesman was truly startling. Furthermore, with the aid of some secret techniques, their shocking combat prowess was displayed to the fullest. Streaks of dazzling saber lights slashed towards Lu Ming. Let's deal with the strongest first. Lu Ming stared at Wei Dao and slashed out with his long spear. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards his opponent. At the same time, he activated the Divine Dragon Aspect skill. 6 9-clawed dragon aspects roared and pounced towards the other 3. Dong. Wei Dao was completely at a disadvantage in this collision. Although his combat strength was strong, Lu Ming was stronger. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he could completely suppress a divine son of level 8 heavenly god realm if he used all his means. In particular, he had 2 divine-grade divine powers in his divine power. The inextinguishable sword force allowed Lu Ming's every move to be filled with the offensive power of a sword cultivator. Wei Dao was forced to retreat as he was completely defeated. "It's over. Get down." Lu Ming's huge figure quickly caught up with him. He held his spear with both hands and slashed down. Another crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards Wei Dao. Wei Dao tried his best to resist, but he was still sent flying. His protective saber aura was shattered and his body retreated to the edge of the battle stage. The other 3 wanted to help, but they were held back by the 6 divine dragon aspects. They were powerless. Boom! Lu Ming struck out with his spear again. This time, Wei Dao retreated and was sent flying out of the battle stage. His body trembled and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Defeated. Wei Dao was defeated and was sent flying out of the battle stage. Lost. A divine king from the 9 extinction heavenly king residence shook his head and sighed. With Wei Dao defeated, the remaining 3 were no match for Lu Ming. Their defeat was set. Sure enough, although the remaining 3 did not want to lose, their strength was far from Lu Ming's. They had no choice. The long spear swept out continuously and one by one, they were sent flying out of the battle stage. When the last youth from the 9 extinction heavenly king residence was sent flying out of the battle stage by Lu Ming, there was an earth-shattering cheer around the square. Countless people in the Qin Tian starfield were ecstatic and cheered loudly. This time, they had actually won. This was truly unexpected. After the Ice Immortal, Scarlet Flame Devil Pine, and the others had been defeated, many people had already despaired. They had never imagined that they would win in the end. It was truly a case of being at the end of the road. Every cloud has a silver lining. Lu Ming, Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Some people shouted Lu Ming's name, and then even more people joined in. Very quickly, the square was filled with cheers. They were all shouting Lu Ming's name. Lu Ming. Mo Juye and the limitless sword Dao were looking at that godlike figure on the battle stage. Their expressions were extremely gloomy. They had enmity with Lu Ming. For Lu Ming to be this terrifying made them feel a trace of fear. Their gazes flickered. It was unknown what they were thinking. Other than that, many experts from the Mystic Academy and Invincible Kens had ugly expressions. Lu Ming was the holy son of the Kongxian school. When he matured in the future, he would be a great threat to the Mystic Academy and Invincible Kens. Lu Ming really is powerful. Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng, and the others were all stunned. Of course, my young master is the most powerful. No one can compare to him. Autumn Moon looked worshipfully at Lu Ming. In her heart, Lu Ming was unrivaled. She smiled brilliantly, as if she had long since known that Lu Ming would win. P.S. Fellow readers, I am Shepherd Boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, no ads, and many reading modes. Chapter 2944. I can't believe we lost. At this moment, some of the young men in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion were mumbling to themselves. Randall. N. W. Ran Wen. Before the battle, they were full of confidence and thought that this was a competition without any suspense. It was impossible for them to lose. That was why they agreed to Lu Ming's condition of giving them a 1,000-year extension. Their purpose was to humiliate Lu Ming's group and put pressure on the Qin Tian starfield. They wanted to let the people of the Qin Tian starfield know that the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion was not something they could go against. They wanted to scare the robbers and force them to hand over the treasures. At the beginning, the plot was similar to what they had imagined. When Jin Xing used his absolute sword, he crushed the sky prides of the Qin Tian starfield. However, they never expected that a dark horse would appear out of nowhere. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had displayed abilities that even they were amazed by. He had also defeated them, causing them to taste the consequences of defeat. At this moment, Lu Ming raised his hand and the crowd gradually quieted down. Lu Ming kept the ancient god tactics and his body began to shrink, turning into his human form. Now that you've lost, it's time for you to fulfill your promise, Lu Ming said loudly. The other people of the Qin Tian Starfield also looked at the people of the Nine-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. Jin Xing, Wei Dao, and the others' faces turned ugly. They wanted to deny it, but they were the ones who said it in public. As the Sky Prides of the Nine-Ju Heavenly King Mansion, it would be embarrassing for them to deny it. Therefore, they did not know how to answer. What? The Nine-Ju Heavenly King Mansion won't go back on their words, right? Lu Ming's voice sounded. He put the blame on the Nine-Ju Heavenly King Mansion, making it impossible for them to deny it. How can we go back on our words? All right, this old man agrees to give your Qin Tian Star Field 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, if you still can't hand over the Nine-Ju Divine Crystal, the army of my Nine-Ju Heavenly Palace will definitely come. A white-haired old man from the Nine-Ju Heavenly King Mansion said. His voice spread across the entire place. All right, it's a deal, Lu Ming said. Remember, you only have 1,000 years. Let's go. The white-haired old man said and left. Lu Ming's, one day, I will defeat you and avenge today's humiliation. Jin Xing's eyes fell on Lu Ming's was filled with battle intent. You won't have another chance in the future, Lu Ming responded, full of confidence. Let's wait and see. Jin Xing said King Mansion. Very soon, the people from the highest heavenly king residence had all retreated. The 9 Jews ts was. They had one's Jew sects. Although it tt can sit tb, it's have as Jew sects sect Jew heavenly king mansion s sects Jews Jew heavens. However, many major forces still felt a sense of urgency. 1,000 years had passed in the blink of an eye. Could they really find the treasures of the 9 extinction heavenly king mansion? Let's go. Lu Ming came to Ouyang Qingxiang's side and left together. After a while, they returned to the Kongxian school. Soon, the news spread throughout Qin Tian Starfield. The 9 Jew Heavenly King Mansion's people had left Qin Tian Starfield. However, the atmosphere in Qin Tian Starfield did not relax. Instead, it became more serious. The major forces in Qin Tian Starfield were suspicious of each other. They were guessing who stole the 9 Jew Heavenly King Mansion's treasure. Who stole the 9 Jew Heavenly King Mansion's treasure? Hand it over quickly. Are you trying to get everyone killed? Which force is so selfish? Despicable. More and more such voices were heard. This force was guessing that it was that force that stole the treasure. That force was guessing that it was that force that stole the treasure. The major forces in Qin Tian Starfield had conflicts with each other. At this time, the conflicts were triggered. Some of the forces even had some friction and there were signs of fighting. The Flaming Tribe and the Ice Soul Tribe were like fire and water. The Flaming Tribe said that it was the Ice Soul Tribe that stole the 9 Jew Heavenly King Mansion's treasure. However, the Ice Soul Tribe was not to be outdone. They said that it was the Flaming Tribe that stole the treasure. The two major races were originally enemies. The conflict between them was extremely deep. As such, it completely ignited the flames of conflict between them. After a few months, the conflict between the two major races was finally triggered and a war broke out. Many God King experts were dispatched in this war. Both sides fought fiercely and both sides suffered losses. After that, it was a long tug-of-war. Both sides had invested a large number of troops in the border galaxies. Wars would break out from time to time. The atmosphere between the Qin Tian 13 sects was also extremely tense. As for those small forces, they were all in danger. Just like that, 10 years passed. The Qin Tian 13 sects barely maintained a balance. There were only some small conflicts occasionally. However, if this continued, a war would definitely break out as the 1,000 years approached. At that time, before the 9 Jew Heavenly King Mansion's army arrived, the Qin Tian Starfield would be weakened because of the internal strife. On this day, Lu Ming received a message from the Ice Soul Tribe. The Ice Soul Tribe invited him for a gathering. Lu Ming was a little puzzled but he did not refuse. He rushed to the Ice Soul Tribe alone. Brother Lu, long time no see. You're getting stronger and stronger. You've already left me far behind. The one who received Lu Ming was the Ice Soul Tribe's 9th young master, Bing Qing. Bing Qing laughed self-deprecatingly when he saw Lu Ming. When Lu Ming fought Jin Xing, Wei Dao, and the others, Bing Qing was in seclusion and did not see it. When he heard about it later, he was naturally shocked. Brother Bing, you're too polite. May I know why you're looking for me this time? Lu Ming asked. I heard that it's about the 9 Heavenly King Mansion's treasure. Bing Qing's face turned solemn. He whispered to Lu Ming through voice transmission as if he was afraid that others would hear him. The 9 Heavenly King Mansion's treasure? Is there news about it? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. They seem to have found some clues. Lu Ming, my father is waiting for you. Come with me. My father will tell you. Bing Qing whispered. Lu Ming was curious. If the Ice Soul Tribe had found some clues, why would they ask him to come? What did this have to do with him? Lu Ming and Bing Qing came to a courtyard with curiosity. In the courtyard, there was a table. Only 2 people were sitting at the table. One of them was Bing Qing's father, the Ice Soul Tribe's patriarch. The other person was the Ice Soul Tribe's #1 prodigy, Bing Qing's 7th brother, Bing Xian. Lu Ming, you're here. Seeing Lu Ming, the Ice Soul Tribe's patriarch and Bing Xian smiled and stood up to welcome him. Junior Lu Ming greets Patriarch Bing. Lu Ming cupped his fists politely and greeted Bing Xian. P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, 0 ads, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2945. Haha, Lu Ming, please have a seat. The leader of the Ice Spirit clan smiled and invited Lu Ming to take a seat. Randall. N. W. W. R. A. N. W. E. N. A. Com. Lu Ming and Bing Qing sat down. May I know why the patriarch is looking for Lu Ming? Lu Ming did not beat around the bush and directly asked the question in his heart. Lu Ming, I've called you here to talk about the theft of the 9 extinction Heavenly King Mansion's treasure, the patriarch said. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly and he said, have you found some clues? I did find some clues, but I'm not sure yet. The patriarch said. He pondered for a while and then continued, Lu Ming, you should know about the Dark Ice Tribe, right? Dark Ice Tribe? You mean the tribe that betrayed the Ice Spirit Tribe? Lu Ming's expression changed. He still remembered that when he was assigned a mission by his sect to help the Ice Soul clan go to their ancestral land to retrieve the Ice Jade Heart, he had encountered a genius of the Dark Ice race in the Ice Soul clan's ancestral land. They had fought over the Ice Jade Heart. Could it be related to the Dark Ice Tribe? I think the Dark Ice Tribe is responsible for the theft of the 9 extinction Heavenly King Mansion's treasure. The Dark Ice Tribe has been declining over the years, and the 9 extinction divine crystal can help them rise again. They can even defeat us and return to the peak of the Qin Tian Star area, the patriarch said. Patriarch Bing, is this just your speculation or do you have any evidence? Lu Ming took a sip of tea and asked calmly. He would not believe the patriarch's words so easily. The Ice Spirit Tribe and the Dark Ice Tribe had a deep hatred and both wanted to destroy each other. If the Ice Spirit Tribe wanted to frame the Dark Ice Tribe, it was possible that they could destroy the other party. Hearing Lu Ming's question, the patriarch of the Ice Spirit clan smiled faintly. He had lived for countless years, so he naturally knew what Lu Ming was thinking. Lu Ming, you may think that I will frame the Dark Ice race, but this concerns the survival of the Qin Tian Star area and the survival of our race. I will not play around. There are many opportunities to deal with the Dark Ice race. Why would I choose this time? The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan smiled and continued, in the past, the Dark Ice clan was very active and often had conflicts with our clan. However, during this period, the Dark Ice clan has holed up and kept all of its clansmen away. It's very suspicious that they haven't done anything. I suspect that they've obtained a treasure and are secretly accumulating strength, waiting for the day they erupt. Clan leader Bing, even if the Dark Ice clan did it, how could the Dark Ice clan steal the treasure with the defense of the 9 Heavenly King Mansion? Lu Ming asked again. If the Dark Ice Clan was so powerful to steal the treasure from the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion, they would have destroyed the Ice Spirit Clan and unified the Qin Tian Star area. This is the key to the problem. I suspect that there's a traitor in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion who colluded with outsiders. Otherwise, it's very difficult for outsiders to steal the treasure from the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan lowered his voice and said. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. To be honest, Lu Ming had thought of this before. The 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion was one of the 27 Heavenly King Mansions in the Taishu dynasty. Not to mention the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion's cultivation, even the guards of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion were extremely terrifying and unfathomable. It was almost impossible for outsiders to steal the treasure from the heavily guarded 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion without anyone noticing. There was only one reason. There was a traitor in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion who colluded with outsiders to steal the treasure without anyone noticing. However, which force in the Qin Tian Star area would collude with the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion? To be honest, in the Qin Tian Star area, whether it's the Ice Spirit Clan, the Flaming Clan, or the Qin Tian 13 sects, we're not worth mentioning in the eyes of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. We're not qualified to make friends with the major forces and families in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. However, the Dark Ice Clan is an exception. After the Dark Ice Clan was defeated, they left the Qin Tian Star area and wandered to other places. After a long time, they returned to the Qin Tian Star area. Therefore, the Dark Ice Clan is most likely to make friends with the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. Moreover, our clan has been secretly sending people to keep an eye on the Dark Ice Clan. Previously, the Dark Ice Clan was very active and often sent people out of the Qin Tian Star area to the territory where the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion is located. This is the most suspicious point. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan explained. I see. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. After listening to the patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan, he really felt that the Dark Ice Clan was the most suspicious. If it's really the Dark Ice Clan, why would the experts of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion collude with the Dark Ice Clan to steal the treasures of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion? What benefits would it bring to those people? Lu Ming asked. He still had a lot of doubts. I'm not sure about this. I'm also confused. On the surface, it doesn't seem to bring any benefits to the people of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. However, I reckon that the other party must have a purpose for doing so. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan frowned. However, this is just my speculation. There's no evidence. If I say it out loud, it won't be convincing. The people of the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion won't believe me. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan sighed. Ice Spirit Clan's patriarch, what does this have to do with you inviting me here? Lu Ming asked again. Even if the Ice Spirit Clan's patriarch's speculation was true, what did it have to do with him? What help could he provide? First, we need to find evidence that the Dark Ice Clan stole the treasures. However, it's almost impossible to find evidence in the Qin Tian Starfield. We can only find evidence in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan said. Ice Spirit Clan's patriarch, you want me to go to the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion to find evidence? Lu Ming's eyes flashed as he asked. That's right. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan nodded and said, we've planted spies in the Dark Ice Clan. However, the Dark Ice Clan has also planted spies in our clan. As long as we send people to the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion, they'll immediately be alerted and will alert the enemy. Moreover, it's not suitable for those with high cultivation to go to the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion. They'll also alert the Dark Ice Clan. Only those of the younger generation who head to the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion with the excuse of training themselves and finding other geniuses to spar with them will not alert the others. That's because this kind of thing happens in every era. Lu Ming understood. The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan wanted Lu Ming to go to the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion to investigate the theft of the treasures in the 9-Ju Heavenly King Mansion and find evidence that the Dark Ice Clan stole the treasures. All right, I'll go. Lu Ming nodded and agreed. Ah! The patriarch of the Ice Spirit Clan was stunned. Apparently, He did not expect Lu Ming to agree so readily. He had invited Lu Ming to come here just to make this suggestion. As for whether Lu Ming would agree or not, he would not force him. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming agreed without the slightest hesitation. P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, 0 ads, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2946. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan naturally did not know that Lu Ming had already planned to go to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Because of Jing Yu, Lu Ming was bound to go to the Taishu dynasty, and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion was the only way to go to the Taishu dynasty. Lu Ming originally planned to go to the Taishu dynasty when his cultivation was higher. However, there were benefits to going to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion in advance. At least, he could learn more about the situation in the Taishu dynasty. There's no time to lose. I'll set off in a few days. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and then said, Lu Ming, you'd better go to the Demon Capital Mountain first before going to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion, the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan said. Demon Capital Mountain? Lu Ming was puzzled. Yes, Demon Capital Mountain. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan nodded and said, to the west of the Qin Tian starfield is a starfield close to the Qin Tian starfield called the Chu Tian starfield. The Demon Capital Mountain is in the Chu Tian starfield. In the past, when the people of the Dark Ice tribe left the Qin Tian starfield, they often went to the Demon Capital Mountain. I suspect that the Demon Capital Mountain is the place where the Dark Ice tribe and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion met. Therefore, we might be able to find some clues in the Demon Capital Mountain. Very few people know about this. The patriarch of the Ice Soul clan said. All right, I'll go to the Demon Capital Mountain first. Lu Ming nodded. After chatting for a while, Lu Ming got up and left. Before leaving, the patriarch of the Ice Soul clan gave Lu Ming a starry sky map of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. However, the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion occupied a large territory and the starry sky map only gave a rough location. There were many small places that were not clearly marked. Therefore, Lu Ming thought of Wu Zifeng. Wu Zifeng was from the Wu clan of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. He would need help to go to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Coincidentally, Wu Zifeng was at Kongxian School during this period of time. Not long after, Lu Ming returned to Kongxian School and found Wu Zifeng. He explained the purpose of his visit, and Wu Zifeng immediately agreed. Yu Linglong knew about it and wanted to join them. In the end, Lu Ming brought Autumn Moon, Wu Zifeng, and Yu Linglong out of Kongxian School quietly without alerting anyone. If they wanted to leave the Qin Tian starfield, they would have to take the Interstellar Field Teleportation Array. The Interstellar Domain Teleportation Array of the Qin Tian starfield was located on the Myriad Spirit Star. The 4 of them arrived at the Myriad Spirit Star. After paying an exorbitant fee, they stepped onto the teleportation array to the Chu Tian star domain. Lu Ming felt as if he was shuttling through the void. It was as if he was moving through a void passage. Looking at the lights and shadows that constantly passed by him, Lu Ming knew that he was moving forward at an astonishing speed. However, the distance between the 2 starfields was too far. Even if they took the teleportation array, the teleportation process was very long. This process lasted for half a month. The surroundings trembled and a ray of light pierced through. Lu Ming knew that they had arrived at the Chu Tian star domain. Lu Ming was secretly amazed. It took half a month to travel by teleportation array. One could imagine how long this distance was. If one relied on flying, who knew how long it would take? Even a godly monarch would find it difficult to cross such a long distance without tens of thousands of years. The distance between 2 starfields was often many times greater than the territory of the starfield itself. This is the Mandala galaxy of the Chu Tian star domain, which is closest to the Qin Tian star domain. Modu Mountain is on the other side. Let's go. Wu Zifeng was rather familiar with the Chu Tian star domain. He led Lu Ming and company and continued to take the teleportation array towards Modu Mountain. Modu Mountain was really a mountain. It was a huge mountain that floated in the cosmos. Like the Mountain of Desolation, it was extremely huge, bigger than many planets. In the vast cosmos, there were all sorts of strange things. Not all of them were planets. Some divine mountains that were even bigger than planets floated in the sky. There were even some continents that floated in the cosmos, forming their own worlds. Even more miraculous was that there was an extremely huge ancient city that floated in the cosmos. There were even huge ancient trees and massive desolate beast corpses that had evolved into their own worlds. There were countless such things. Lu Ming was already used to it. After a month of traveling, they finally approached Modu Mountain. Standing in the universe starfield, looking from afar, there was a huge mountain floating in the starry sky. Above it, there was a demonic mist. This was Modu Mountain. Let's go. Lu Ming took the lead and flew over. At the same time, he used his divine power to envelop Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong. This was because Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng had not reached the heavenly god realm. Both of them were at the 7th level of the true god realm. To be honest, this cultivation speed was already extremely fast. Of course, compared to Lu Ming and Autumn Moon, it was naturally much worse. The four of them landed at the edge of Modu Mountain and then flew forward. Not long after, a large city appeared in front of them. Above the city gate, there were 3 large words, Devil General City. The city gate was quite lively, with people coming and going. The four of them walked in and then inquired about the situation of Modu Mountain. Modu Mountain was made up of a total of 37 large cities. The ruler of these cities was Modu City. The other 36 cities were all satellite cities of the Demon Capital Mountain, and they surrounded Demon Capital City and protected it. In Modu Mountain, Modu City was high and mighty. It was the unquestionable ruler and was extremely powerful. It was said that the city lord of Modu City was a divine king called the Dark Knight Divine King. Moreover, Modu City produced a special product called the Demonic Night Spring. This demonic night spring was extremely helpful to a cultivator's soul. It could nourish the soul and increase the strength of the soul. A cultivator's soul was the most important. It was very difficult to increase it. One could imagine the value of the demonic night spring. Modu Mountain's main source of income was selling the demonic night spring. However, the demonic night spring was so precious that there were definitely many forces eyeing it. Modu Mountain's Dark Knight Divine King was just an ordinary divine king. He could not control such a precious treasure at all. However, the truth was that no one dared to touch Modu Mountain. That was because behind Modu Mountain, there was a major force called the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion supporting it. Many major forces in Chu Tien Star Field knew that Modu Mountain was supported by the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. However, they did not know which force it was. It seems like if I want to investigate whether the Dark Ice Tribe is colluding with the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion, I have to start from Modu City. However, Modu City's law enforcement officers are very strict. They forbid outsiders from entering. Lu Ming frowned as he pondered. Modu City, unless it was a special occasion, outsiders were forbidden from entering. Therefore, Lu Ming had to think of a way to enter Modu City first before he could start his investigation. Unfortunately, Lu Ming could not think of a good way to enter Modu City for the next few days. On this day, Lu Ming and the other 3 were wandering around the streets, trying to gather information. Suddenly, several figures appeared in front of Lu Ming and the other 3, blocking their path. Chapter 2947. A total of 4 bulky men stood in front of Lu Ming and his crew. The 4 bulky men were wearing black metal armor. Their faces were chubby, indicating that they were ferocious characters. You 4 must be outsiders. I've never seen you before. One of the bulky men with a scar on his face scanned Lu Ming and his crew. His eyes flickered passionately when he saw Chiu Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong. That's right, we're outsiders. We've just come here for training. Lu Ming replied casually. Just come here? What nonsense. The man with a scar suddenly yelled with a hideous grin. He stared at Chiu Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong and said, A while ago, 2 female thieves appeared in Demon General City and stole the city lord's treasure. I can see that their figures are similar to the 2 thieves. I'm going to arrest them and bring them back for interrogation. Brothers, take them down. The man with a scar yelled. Hair, you two female thieves, just surrender. The other three bulky men in black armor walked toward Cho Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong with perverted grins. Now, even an idiot could see that the knife-scarred man and the others had taken a liking to Cho Yu and Yu Linglong's beauty and wanted to get their hands on them. The female thief was just an excuse. Die. Wu Zifeng was infuriated. His aura burst out as he threw a punch forward. A mere 7th layer true god realm dares to attack me? Die. The man with a scar let out a hollow laugh and threw a punch forward. A terrifying force surged in Wu Zifeng's direction. 3rd layer heaven god realm. The man's cultivation was at the 3rd layer heaven god realm, significantly stronger than Wu Zifeng's. Even if Wu Zifeng was a genius, he would not be able to make up for the difference. Seeing this palm strike, even if Wu Zifeng didn't die, he would be crippled. Whoosh! A figure appeared in front of Wu Zifeng and nullified the force of the man's attack with a wave. Brat, you still dare to fight back. You don't know the difference between life and death. Brothers, leave these two brats to me. You guys take down those two chicks. The scarred man shouted. Attack. The other 3 men attacked at the same time. They stretched out their claws and tried to grab Cho Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong. Lu Ming did not make a move. The other 3 burly men were only level 1 heavenly gods. They were no match for Autumn Moon. As expected, a snow-white blade light bloomed from Autumn Moon's hand. Puff, puff, puff. Blood spurted out, and 3 blood-curdling screams rang out. The 3 black-armored burly men retreated in a frenzy. 1 palm of each of the 3 black-armored men was cut off by Autumn Moon. Furthermore, Autumn Moon's attack was infused with the god force of a sovereign lord. It would be difficult for the 3 burly men to recover from it. Ah, slut, you dare to break our hands? You're courting death. I'm going to take you down and ride you under my body. Bitch. The 3 black-armored burly men roared furiously, their anger soaring to the heavens. Die. Chiu Yu said coldly. With a wave of her hand, another blade light shot out from her hand. Crap. The 3 black-armored men were startled. They immediately backed away in an attempt to dodge the attack. However, Autumn Moon's attack was shockingly quick. In comparison, the 3 black-armored men were like snails. Puff, puff, puff. Another 3 popping sounds rang out, and everyone saw that the 3 black-armored burly men's bodies had stiffened, and they were completely motionless. Blood was seeping out from their foreheads. There was no sign of life in their bodies. The 3 black-armored men had fallen. Their souls had been destroyed by Autumn Moon at that instant. You dare to kill the people of the demon generals? You're courting death. The scarred man roared furiously. A ferocious aura burst out from his mouth. I was planning to investigate in secret. I didn't want to cause any trouble, but you're courting death. Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and threw a punch at the scarred man. Demon General's saber. The scarred man yelled. He drew out his saber and slashed at Lu Ming. However, even though the scarred man's cultivation was in the 3rd layer heaven god realm, which was on par with Lu Ming, he was only an ordinary heaven god with royal god force. His strength was too far away from Lu Ming's. Bang! A 9-clawed divine dragon flew out and charged towards the scar-faced man. The scarred man stood no chance against Lu Ming. As the 9-clawed dragon flew past, the scarred man's attacks were instantly nullified. Bang! The scarred man's body was torn apart by the 9-clawed dragon. He died on the spot. The scarred man and his companions were all dead. The streets were crowded with people who were watching the show. They began to discuss among themselves. Those 4 young men are bold enough to kill the demon generals. They're done for. I'm afraid the other demon generals have been alerted. They will be here soon. As if to prove the words, a loud roar came from deep within the demon general city. Close the gates and activate the formation. Those who dare to kill me will be ground to ashes. As soon as the words were spoken, the gates of the demon general city were swiftly closed. A light barrier rose into the sky above the city. Bang! Bang! Powerful auras burst out from all directions of the demon general city. Several black figures charged toward Lu Ming and his companions. Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong were startled. On the other hand, Qiu Autumn Moon and Lu Ming remained calm. In the entire demon capital mountain, only the city lord was a god-emperor realm expert. With Lu Ming's current strength, as long as it was not a god-emperor, Lu Ming had nothing to fear. He could still escape. Whoosh! Whoosh! Figures flew over from all directions. They were all burly men in black armor, and there were people from all races. The demon general guards are here. The surrounding people were shocked. Many of them retreated to make space for the demon general guards. Lu Ming and his companions were surrounded by the demon general guards from all directions. There's quite a number of them. Lu Ming scanned the area and discovered that there were 3,000 demon general guards. 3,000 demon general guards were all heavenly god realm experts. Such a force was shocking. The demon general city is only one of the 36 citadels of the demon capital mountain. It's amazing that they have such a strong force. Lu Ming sighed inwardly. The strongest expert of the demon capital mountain was only in the first layer of the god king realm. Lu Ming couldn't help but marvel at the number of heavenly god realm experts under his command. Perhaps it has something to do with the demonic night spring? Lu Ming pondered. The demon capital mountain had the demonic night spring, so they were definitely rich. It wasn't impossible for them to gather so many heavenly god realm experts to form an army. Kid, you're the one who killed my demon general guards. A muscular man stepped forward. His violent aura pressed down on Lu Ming. The man was the general of the demon general guards. His cultivation was in the 6th layer heavenly god realm. That's right. Lu Ming replied calmly. Good, very good. You dare to kill my demon general guards in the demon general city? Very good. The general of the demon general guards said ferociously. He then yelled, attack, kill the man, leave the woman alive. Chapter 2948. Kill. Following the order of the demon guard general, over 100 demon generals stepped forward and charged at Lu Ming. Their attacks were aimed at Lu Ming. In their eyes, only Lu Ming was a threat. Wu Zifeng and the others were nothing to be afraid of. You asked for it. Lu Ming said calmly. 10 god flames burned fiercely in his dantian. 10 different kinds of god force gathered together and surged toward Lu Ming's arm. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming threw a few punches, firing several 9-clawed dragons. A total of 6 9-clawed dragons stomped their claws and nullified the attacks of the demon generals. They continued to lunge at the demon generals with their enormous claws. Ah, crap! Back off! No! Over 100 demon generals screamed in terror. They tried to dodge, but it was too late. Regardless of whether it was a 1st-layer heaven god, a 2nd-layer heaven god, or a 3rd-layer heaven god, they all exploded into pieces with their souls destroyed. A single move had eliminated over 100 demon generals. Slash slash slash. Sounds of gasps could be heard from all around. They did not expect Lu Ming's strength to be so outstanding. Damn it, set up the demon generals formation. The demon generals were astounded. They let out a roar and gathered the demon generals to set up the formation to deal with Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming would not give them the chance to do so. Sky-piercing. A cold voice could be heard as a brilliant spear glow was fired at the demon general's formation. With this move, Lu Ming had triggered the double combat ability of the Battle Character Sutra. The demon general's formation stood no chance against the attack. His forehead was penetrated by the spear glow as his body fell to the ground. The general is dead. As soon as the demon general's formation died, the demon general's formation panicked and fled for their lives like ants on a hot pan. Hold your ground. Suddenly, a loud roar could be heard from the sky. A powerful aura spread across the place like a mountain. How dare you cause trouble in my demon general's city? Die. Another furious roar could be heard in the sky. Following it, a figure charged at Lu Ming. Before the person arrived, a pitch-black palm was already aiming at Lu Ming. 8th layer heaven god realm. Lu Ming squinted his eyes slightly. As soon as the other party attacked, Lu Ming could sense his cultivation level. Whoosh! Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand and charged upward. A ray of spear gleam soared into the sky. It was as big as a mountain and pierced toward the palm print. Bang! The spear aura and the palm print collided with each other, resulting in an earth-shattering explosion. The sky shook violently, and the energy overflowed in all directions. Following this, the spear glow and palm strike. In the next moment, a purple-robed middle-aged man appeared in the sky. He was skinny, but his aura was like a mountain. City Lord, it's the City Lord. Greetings, City Lord. Seeing the purple-robed middle-aged man, the demon guard calmed down and bowed. Formation. The purple-robed middle-aged man waved his hand and spoke calmly. His voice was filled with authority. Immediately, thousands of demon generals and demon guards flashed and set up a large formation, waiting for the attack. The purple-robed middle-aged man stared coldly at Lu Ming. It has been a long time since someone dared to kill my demon generals in my demon general's city. You will pay a heavy price for this. The City Lord of Jungmo City said coldly. Aren't you going to ask me why I killed them? Lu Ming said. I don't need to know why you killed them. I only need to know that you've killed the people of Jungmo City. That's enough. The Jungmo City's City Lord's voice became even colder. As soon as he finished the sentence, he charged at Lu Ming. His 8th layer Heaven God Realm cultivation was fully unleashed. A terrifying force crushed down on Lu Ming like a landslide. Lu Ming coldly snorted. The other party had attacked Lu Ming without any reason, which had also angered Lu Ming. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the battle secret ART's tripled combat strength. Buzz! The spear shuddered violently. A huge spear glow swept across the rift. Bang! Bang! The giant spear glow and the pitch-black palm seal clashed continuously. The two had exchanged more than 10 blows within the blink of an eye. Break, moon slashing. Lu Ming groaned. He held the spear with both hands and slashed forward. A giant crescent-shaped spear glow was fired forward. Bang! Bang! It shattered the palm seal that the City Lord of Jungmo City had executed. The City Lord of Jungmo City was startled. He was knocked back 10,000 meters before he managed to stabilize his figure. His face was slightly pale. Is that strong? The crowd and the demon generals were astounded. Lu Ming was only a 3rd layer Heaven God Realm cultivator, yet his strength was so outstanding that he was able to knock the City Lord of Jungmo City back. Could he be a peerless genius from the outside world? The City Lord of Jungmo City was astounded too. Apart from a peerless genius from the outside world, no one else would possess such outstanding strength. Humph, so what if he's a peerless genius from the outside world? He has to pay the price for killing my demon generals. The City Lord of Jungmo City's eyes turned cold. Kid, you're quite capable, but if that's all you've got, you're still going to die. Demon Soul Curse. The City Lord of Jungmo City yelled. Runes suddenly appeared on his body. The runes formed a curse similar to the Nether Dragon blood curse that Lu Ming was inflicted with. However, the curse covered the City Lord of Jungmo City's body like demons. The City Lord of Jungmo City wore a painful expression. However, his aura skyrocketed. He had reached the 9th layer Heaven God Realm. Kid, die. The City Lord of Jungmo City let out a furious roar and charged at Lu Ming. His claws turned into demon claws that were sharper than god weapons as he grabbed at Lu Ming. Space breaking, space breaking. Lu Ming executed the first form of the 3 destructive strikes, the space breaking. Wisps of spear glows were emitted from Lu Ming's hand. They filled the rift as they charged at the City Lord of Jungmo City. The two exchanged blows once again. This time, they were on par with one another. The two continued to exchange blows in the air. Neither of them was able to defeat the other after exchanging a few dozen blows. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, even if he did not utilize the ancient god flesh, he could still fight a 9th layer Heaven God Realm expert by activating the battle seal. This kid, how is his strength so strong? The City Lord of Jungmo City was astounded. Meanwhile, a young man in a purple robe appeared not far away. Young City Lord. Many Jungmo guards greeted the young man when they saw him. The young man was the young City Lord of Jungmo City, Yang Ji. Yang Ji fixed his gaze at Lu Ming, a third-layer Heaven God Realm expert with such outstanding strength. Yang Ji murmured with strong jealousy in his eyes. However, the jealousy soon disappeared as he shifted his gaze. He fell into deep thought. Father, stop. Yang Ji transmitted his voice to the City Lord of Jungmo City. Stop. The City Lord of Jungmo City was confused. That's right, stop and reconcile with the man. His talent is outstanding. Perhaps we can use him to help us reclaim the spiritual liquid lake. Yang Ji continued to transmit his voice. Chapter 2949. Spiritual Liquid Lake? Not bad, not bad. The City Lord of Jungmo City's eyes lit up. After exchanging a blow with Lu Ming, he quickly retreated. Wait, stop fighting. The City Lord of Jungmo City shouted. Lu Ming's eyes moved. Initially, he wanted to activate the battle symbol art to increase his combat strength by 4 times to kill the City Lord of Jungmo City. However, the City Lord of Jungmo City suddenly stopped. Lu Ming was slightly stunned and stopped attacking. Little brother, with your strength, you must be a peerless genius from the outside world. I believe that you wouldn't kill people for no reason. What happened just now? The City Lord of Jungmo City asked. Bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Lu Ming smiled in his heart. He thought that the City Lord of Jungmo City was afraid of him after witnessing his strength. However, Lu Ming did not want to fight with the City Lord of Jungmo City, nor did he want to make a big deal out of it. He came to the demon capital mountain to investigate the Dark Ice Tribe and the theft of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. If the matter was blown out of proportion, it would be detrimental to his investigation. What happened? Hihi, your men are really overbearing. Lu Ming immediately told the City Lord of Jungmo City what had happened. After listening to the story, the City Lord of Jungmo City's face was filled with anger. He shouted coldly, I see. How dare you arrest people without knowing the truth? You deserve to die. Then, he looked at the other Jungmo demon guards and said, What do I usually tell you? You must have evidence. Do you understand? Today, those who have fallen will be your lesson. Yes, yes. Many of the Jungmo demon guards nodded. However, they felt strange. The City Lord did not usually tell them to do that. Of course, they did not dare to question the City Lord's words. Little brother, it seems like this is a misunderstanding. I was rash before and attacked you without knowing the reason. I am sorry. Fortunately, you are strong. Otherwise, I would have committed a sin, the City Lord of Jungmo City said with a smile. Lu Ming smiled faintly. How could he not see through the City Lord of Jungmo City's pretentious act? Then, how should we settle this? Lu Ming asked. Write it off. Of course I'll write it off. The City Lord of Jungmo City said. I'm Yang Ji, the young City Lord of Jungmo City. How should I address you? At this time, Yang Ji flew over and greeted Lu Ming with cupped fists. As the saying goes, don't slap a smiling face. Lu Ming also smiled faintly and said, Lu Ming, so it's brother Lu. Lu Ming should be from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion, right? Only the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion can produce a genius like brother Lu. Yang Ji said politely. More or less. Lu Ming naturally wouldn't deny it. Brother Lu is indeed the heaven's pride of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. I like to make friends with brother Lu the most in my life. Meeting someone like you today is truly a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Brother Lu, would you do me the honor and have a drink with me? Yang Ji said. Of course. A thought flashed through Lu Ming's mind, and he nodded in agreement. As the City Lord of one of the 36 cities in the Devil Capital Mountain, he had a lot of authority in the Devil Capital Mountain. Perhaps, it would be helpful for Lu Ming to investigate the Dark Ice Tribe. Lu Ming indeed needed to integrate himself into the Devil Capital Mountain in order to investigate the Dark Ice Tribe. In this aspect, He needed the other party's help. Moreover, Lu Ming was skilled and bold, he wasn't afraid of the other party's tricks. Please. The city lord of Jiangmo City waved his hand. Soon after, a banquet was prepared in one of the city lord mansion's main halls. Lu Ming, Qiu Autumn Moon, Wu Zifeng, and Yu Linglong were all present, accompanied by the city lord of Jiangmo City and Yang Ji. Brother Lu, you came to the Devil Capital Mountain for the Devil Capital War, right? After drinking 2 cups, Yang Ji's gaze shifted as he asked with a smile. The Devil Capital War? Lu Ming, Wu Zifeng, and the others were puzzled. Brother Lu, you don't know about the Devil Capital War? Yang Ji was a little surprised. I don't know, it's my first time hearing about it. Lu Ming shook his head. Not for the Devil Capital War? Then Brother Lu is here for the Devil Night Spring? Yang Ji guessed again. That's right, I'm indeed here for the Devil Night Spring. Lu Ming's heart moved, but this time, he didn't deny it. It's not easy to get the Devil Night Spring, you have to enter the Devil Capital to have a chance to buy it. Brother Lu, do you have a way to enter the Devil Capital? Yang Ji asked tentatively. I don't have a way yet, I wonder if Brother Yang has a way to help me enter the Devil Capital. Lu Ming asked. Yang Ji's eyes flashed with joy, there is a way, but the number of people we can recommend to enter the Devil Capital is very limited. At this point, Yang Ji stopped. Here it comes. Lu Ming's heart moved. How could he not understand Yang Ji's tone? Lu Ming was about to raise a condition. Brother Yang, if you have something to say, just say it. Lu Ming said. Very well. Coincidentally, I have something that I would like to ask Brother Lu for help with. If Brother Lu is able to help me, I will think of a way to allow the 4 of you to enter Demon City. Even obtaining the demonic night spring would not be impossible. Yang Ji said. Please say it. Lu Ming said. Recently, our Jiangmo City and the nearby demonic ape city will have a duel. The younger generation will participate in the duel to compete for a mystical land. Each side will send out 3 people, and the mystical land will belong to the side that wins. I would like to invite Brother Lu to represent Jiangmo City in the duel. Yang Ji finally revealed his purpose. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He already knew that Yang Ji had a condition. Otherwise, how could Yang Ji forget about killing so many people of the Devil Ape City? Okay, I agree. When? Lu Ming nodded. It was just a battle between the younger generation of the Devil Capital Mountain, so Lu Ming didn't care at all. It wasn't difficult for him, it was just a piece of cake. Tomorrow. Thank you, Brother Lu. Yang Ji raised his cup. The city lord of the Devil Capital sat at the side and slowly drank his wine without saying a word. After 3 rounds of wine, the feast finally came to an end. Lu Ming and the others stayed in the Devil Capital for the time being. The next day, Brother Lu Ming, in order to avoid alerting the enemy, it's not good for your friends to follow you. Why don't they stay in the Devil Capital for the time being? The city lord of the Devil Capital said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. It was just a few battles that would soon come to an end. It wouldn't hurt to let Qiu Yu and the others stay here for the time being. Following this, Lu Ming, Yang Ji, and another young man from the Devil Capital left the Devil Capital and headed to the Devil Ape City. The Devil Ape City was one of the 36 citadels of the Devil Capital Mountain. Devil Capital Mountain. Devil Capital City ruled over the Devil Capital Mountain. On the other hand, the 36 citadels fought among themselves. The Devil Capital City turned a blind eye to it. The Devil General City and the Devil Ape City fought fiercely against each other. In recent years, the 2 sides fought endlessly for a spiritual land and a spiritual liquid lake. Battles broke out from time to time. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.